Hi, I just bloody deleted the video. Doing it again now. Um, Hope everybody's okay. Just wanted to share this day with you, or what's going on in my life at the minute. Day 3 of my healing crisis. Uh, woke up this morning. Must admit, I gave myself a sponge bath. Felt very weak and couldn't wait to get back into my bed. I did speak to my Nature's Cure practitioner yesterday to say that I'd had a temperature of 37.1 and what should I be doing? And she said, congratulations that your body's, headed you towards another healing crisis. The more of these you have, the more toxins you're going to release, past toxins from the body, and go on a fast for 3 days. So I started my fast Monday at 6 p.m. and so I think she probably meant that I need to do 3 full days. So I suppose Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then maybe start eating again on Friday. I'm not sure that this is what I'm going to do, because at the minute I don't feel hungry, but last night before I went to sleep I did start craving melon, but then I still had the nasty taste in my mouth. So I've woke up this morning though and I don't feel hungry again. So they say it's safe to fast for 3 days because there's still food in the body. But then when you go into 4 days, that's when the body really starts living off of everything else. So I'm going to try and go another day today, and then tomorrow it'll be melon, and I feel like I'm probably going to go on melon for a few days because that's all I'm craving. And these healing crises seem to be coming quite quickly, probably because I'm looking after Brian and it's taking its toll on me. It's the fact that I don't get the overnight sleep, but I am sort of letting Brian go a little bit more, that he sleeps in this spare room and he seems quite fine in the morning. So I know that that's the way forward, so that I get my rest. But then we work towards Nature's Cure, we work towards having these healing crises. So I'm jumping up and down with happiness, really, and maybe the reason that I get so many healing crises is because I have to remember that I had this triple heart bypass. I'm not sure how many years, maybe 15 years ago. And for maybe 12 years, I was on a lot of medications, and also medications for my nerves and for sleeping. So all these toxins, all these toxins, past toxins, are laid down round my waist area, which is shown I've had my irises of my eyes checked twice. John checked my irises recently, and he says I have a lot of waste around my waist area, and that my left my left side is very weak. Last night I was in agony with my left side and around my waist. So something's working. I think what happens when I get this discomfort is that the toxins are being pulled from those areas, because I've not got that discomfort this morning. I just feel very weak, basically. We've got to rest mind, body and soul. And to be honest with you, I don't really sleep much during the day while I'm resting. I'm sort of watching TV, which I don't usually do, but I'm following a series, and it's really graphic, so, and it gets me elevated. So today I'm not going to watch the TV so much. I'm just going to lay back and listen to the birds, and hopefully if the sun comes out later, I'll lay out in the garden for a little while, and then tomorrow if I feel better, then maybe Brian can come and spend some time down here in the caravan. And I'm just going to take one day at a time until I feel like I'm flying again. But I know that I'm going to be flying again, because every time this happens, this is about the fifth time now, every time this happens, when I come out the other side, I feel like I'm flying. Some people think that because I've been on fruit for 3 years, that fruit slowly detoxes the body. It doesn't, it's made me, what fruit has done, or what, it's not even the fruit, it's my own body, it's what I've given it up that has let me achieve what I've achieved. Fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds, or people will even say nuts and seeds are not, they don't allow the toxins to come out of the body. I don't know, but all I do know is that I haven't got any of my symptoms anymore. I'm not complaining of my heart this morning. I haven't had a high blood pressure while I've had the healing crisis, although I'm not going to take my temperature or my blood pressure, because I've reread Jaffrey's fasting and fever PDF, and it says don't do any of this. Why make myself nervous, But I just know that my blood pressure isn't high. I'm not sure about my temperature, but I'm just not going to take my temperature until after my healing crisis is over. I just feel fantastic because it's so true, all these records go back hundreds of years, that the true way of healing is what I'm doing now, If I'd have done this when I went for the test for my heart, I just know that if I'd have changed my diet, I wouldn't have had the problems with the breathing, and it's so sad really that there's millions like me that are, there's people on the operating table now having a triple heart bypass or stents fitted, and really this is not correct, it's not correct. I've had my veins whipped out of my legs and put in my heart. What for? What for? All I needed to do was change my diet and make myself be able to, it's like a chimney, like a chimney. If the chimney gets stuffed with birds, it won't work, And if the chimney's cleared, then the smoke starts to rise out through the chimney again. That's what I was doing to my body. My body was stuffed so full with the wrong things that I just couldn't function. So, and just 6 weeks into going raw, I realised this when I started to breathe through my nose again. And even though I'm in a healing crisis now, I can still breathe, and I can still enjoy taking deep breaths. I couldn't do that when I was on the SAD diet. So I just know what I'm doing is the correct way forward. Lastly, I would just like to say that I asked everybody to read the 80-10-10 book, because that's the only book that I read that made me realise I didn't have to take lotions and potions, that I just needed to eat the correct food. And I must admit, for 10 months, Dr. Graham was there by the side of me. Every question I had, he answered the questions for me. So yeah, everybody can live by the 80-10-10 diet. I probably am still living by the 80-10-10 diet, but when I followed the 80-10-10 groups, they pushed 2 pound of greens, they pushed this and they pushed that. It terrified me, it terrified me. Every day I had to eat my 2 pound of greens and eat 2,400 calories and Dr. Graham doesn't really tell us, he gives us the guidelines to do this, It's up to us then what we do. So 4 years in, I've realised I don't have to push myself to eat 2 pound of greens and blah, blah, blah. I just need to eat a certain amount of food. And I even realised that 1,600 grams of food was sufficient to sustain me, But and that was taught to me by Hinton on Health, by reading Kevin's book, Hinton on Health. So once I realised that I only needed 1,650 grams of food, I started to relax. But I'm not sticking to 1,650 grams worth of food. I'm eating more than that. But I no longer worry that I have to push in excess of 2,400 calories in order to be healthy. And so, somebody said to me, but you're ill all the time. Yeah, I'm ill all the time. Well, I have these healing crises is quite often, because when I started this journey, my E. coli, because I've got E. coli, and my immune system was very low. I was for the knackers yard, and it takes years to build your immune system back up. Is my immune system back up? I don't know, all I know is blood tests are perfect when I have them, except for my cholesterol levels, which I've said before, I'm not going to worry about this, because I do think that the brain is made up of 75% cholesterol. So yeah, that's it basically. One last thing while I'm sort of rabbiting on is that I did give up taking my B12 boost from Holland and Barrett, and my B12 doubled, but then the last blood test, it had come back down to 220, which is just above the range for the healthy range. So I've decided it's not going to kill me. I'm going to spray the B12 spray a couple of times a month, because I don't want my B12 to fall lower than 200, So let's see, just once or twice a month. When I have my blood tests next year, I'll know if this has been sufficient to keep my B12 spot on. But I must remember that my B12 doubled from 300 to 600 on the raw food diet. So who knows, Anyway, so I'll let you know how I'm getting on. I hope you enjoy this. Bye.